In the following piece, I use some points from an article by N. Quentin Woolf for The Telegraph in 2014. You can see a link in the article in the comments below. Woolf points out that almost twice as many men than women are the victims of violence. He says that while much is done to protect women against violence, very little is being done to protect men. The UK's Office for National Statistics for 2011-12 show that while 1.2 million women experienced domestic violence, so too did 800,000 men. A 1994 University of Iowa paper by veteran criminal lawyer Alan Dershowitz reported that over 40% of US spousal murders are perpetrated by women. That's over 40%. Also, much female-perpetrated violence in the home goes unreported for reasons of shame, perceived biases in the family courts, and the readiness of police to assume that the male will always be the aggressor. Men make up over 2/3 of murder victims, which is 68%. Violence is committed chiefly against men. The male rate of suicide is 3 times that of women, and rising. Suicide in men in their 40s and 50s has risen 40% in 10 years. And then there's war, in which the number of men who are killed directly far outstrips the deaths of women. Of course, we must protect women from harm, but who cares about men? On the Costa Concordia, as on the Titanic, women and children were evacuated first, meaning that male life is less valuable, or secondary. Not all males on board were family men. Some were bachelors whose lives were deemed less important than those of the women leaving the ship merely because of their sex. This gender bias is never spoken of. Why? The answer is clear in my view. Feminists have a political agenda and want money. As Ayn Rand said about feminists, they are just another group of socialists wanting government power and government handouts. Recently, we've heard a great deal about men's violence towards women, but very little about women's violence towards men. Feminists are obviously going to cash in with plenty of handouts, as they did in Australia last week when Prime Minister Turnbull unveiled a $100 million package to combat domestic violence. 60,000 women will receive free cell phones, and $17 million has been allocated to keep women and children safe by installing CCTV cameras and other safety equipment in homes. None of the men who suffer domestic violence will receive a penny. President Obama has been doing the same kind of thing. In 2013, he authorized the Violence Against Women Act and implemented a swathe of government measures to protect women from violence, which will cost taxpayers dearly. Meanwhile, men received nary a mention. If you agree or disagree, please say why in the comments below. Well, that's my 2 cents worth. Talk to you again soon.